episode of Musical Chairs with me, Cheer Up Charlie. And today we have the amazing, the wonderful. She went up against the beast and beat him. Wait, her the beast. Oh, no, words getting in from my producers. No, that makes her the goat. Awesome name. Way cooler than the beast. Sorry, Eddie. She can carry all of her shopping and her boyfriend in one go. Her boyfriend being the Welsh princess. And yet again, coming in from my producers, no, he's not an actual Welsh princess. She is, pound for pound, the world's strongest person. She's Rhianon Lovelace.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Rhiannon.
How are you doing, darling? How are things?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very, very good. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you so much for coming on here. So those of you watching, you'll have noticed that sat in the Musical Chairs HQ today, aka my mum's computer, is not my usual type of guest, but someone who I have followed thanks to my mum for a while now, and she has one amazing story to tell, and I'm truly honoured to have her join me today. So thank you, Rhiannon. No
problem at all. It's an honour to be here. Definitely, I think it's really important to get the word out about these things. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. So if you're ready, I'll get right into the questions.
Fire away.
So I started my career at 9 and already know where I want to be. What age did you decide that sport was the way your life was heading? As I know you started out as a horse rider.
About, I think I was 15, 16, when I started properly hitting the weights. I realised the passion was there for, like, it had been for nothing else, and it very quickly turned into wanting to be a full-time career.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So you grew up in St Anne's near the sea, which is similar to me growing up near Surfers Paradise in Australia. You must have had amazing parents like mine who travelled with you. Were they very encouraging in helping you build your career? As I already see the sacrifices mine make, both financially and with time.
Oh, for sure. My mum was actually, when I wanted to enter my first competition, pretty much everybody laughed at me. I'm very, very small to do the sport, and I was very young. But my mum was the only person that said, she just basically turned around and she was like, okay. She was like, how do we do this? Like, where do we need to go? And especially the first few years, she travelled up and down the country so I could compete. My mum has been just a huge motivation for me and just a pillar of support the whole way, for sure.
So you're so talented in so many areas, but I do know that we both share a love of science. Do you regret not following an academic path?
You know what? Sometimes when my body really hurts, when training's not going great, I often kind of daydream about going back to uni and getting my master's in it. The reality is I just don't have time right now, but I miss the lectures, I miss the textbooks. You know, the sport is so physically demanding. And I do a lot of calculations with the programming side of things, but it's not quite the level it was, and I do miss it for sure.
Yeah. So when you took up strength sport, you started off by powerlifting. What made you then make the huge leap to strongman? Or strong woman, strong person.
It was my partner was a strongman. And it was a case of, I've got my sport, you've got your sport. And he just kept, wanting me to do a comp. And in the end, he said, if you do one of mine, I'll do one of yours. So he did a powerlifting comp, which was absolutely hilarious. So I bit the bullet and went and did a strongwoman comp. I fell in love with it, and I walked over to the powerlifting stage and pretty much just retired like there and then. It really did just light a spark. The people that I met, how much fun I had. I knew the future was with strongwomen.
Mm-hmm. So I can see you are quite greedy and decided that one world record and title was not enough, so you went for multiple. Which one has been a career highlight for you?
Oh God. A lot of them mean kind of different things for different reasons. Probably the 600-pound deadlift. To be the first woman of any weight category in Britain to hit that. I came up through the sport with watching people like Dot Shaw, incredible lifter. She got very close, but never quite got it. And to hit that, I actually missed it 3 months before in a very heartbreaking attempt, and then damaged my ankle. So to come back from that as quickly as we did and actually take the 600-pound deadlift was incredibly emotional. It really was.
I bet. So how amazing was it going head to head with Eddie Hall in a pound-to-pound lift-off and actually coming out on top?
Yeah, it was funny. He's such a good guy, Eddie. He messaged me and he was like, look, do you fancy going straight pound for pound up at your place? You know, we'll video it, we'll YouTube it. And I messaged him back and I was like, dude, have you done the maths here? Like, do you know how much I weigh? And he was like, yeah, it'll be brilliant. Like, it'll be really funny. Fair play to him, you know, to come all the way up and go pound for pound against me. He's such a good guy. And he's a big fan of the female side of the sport, and he does an awful lot to help promote the women, which truly appreciated.
Yeah. So you've recently just opened up your second gym in Wales. How incredible is it to see your dream become a reality? And when will you open one in the south?
Oh, it's mad. It's crazy. How fast the actual idea of having a gym came about. You know, me and my partner, we would daydream about it, you know, and just talk about it. And then we got back from Worlds 2017 and just decided that we just needed to do this. And by March, we opened the first Chaos. It's now 3.5 years later, and we've opened the second one. It's just been crazy. It's just been absolutely the support from everybody, the feedback. You know, I was 21 when I said I wanted to open a strongman gym, and there still is no other female-owned strongman gym in the UK, but it definitely wasn't heard of back then. And you know, we faced a lot of, even with inside of the community, I faced a lot of negative criticism that, you know, I was too young, basically based on my gender. And now you know, we run so many successful comps. We help athletes all over the UK and abroad come to Chaos to train, it's just incredible, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Chaos, can we make a deal? If I send you a Cheer Up Charlie shirt, will you send me a Chaos shirt?
Absolutely. Yeah. Take your pick.
Awesome. That's so cool. So you're pushing the boundaries for strength sport for women and one of the forces behind its promotion and a beacon for many. How important is it to you that men and women's sport are treated as equal in regards to pay, events, and even as far as coverage?
Yeah, it's pretty important to me. The main thing for me is that I just want the opportunity. I appreciate that a lot of the pay and a lot of the exposure has to do with the revenue that the men bring. And all I fight for is the opportunity to do so as women. Like Britain's Strongest Woman being in its first arena, you know, 6 years ago, it was just in a random field. And to go from that to our first ticket selling stadium, you know, tickets have flown out. We've really proven that as a gender, we can promote the sport. You know, we are interesting to watch, we are exciting to watch, and people will ultimately come and support us. It's been phenomenal. You know, I was the first female athlete to compete under World's Ultimate Strongman, which was insane. We now have women compete under Ultimate Strongman here in the UK. And the tables really are kind of starting to turn. The respect is there, the support is there. It's slow progress, it really is, but I'm hoping that by the time I retire, the sport is different for the girls coming through.
Yeah. So my transition into the limelight was unconventional, to say the least, and I'm very passionate about people doing what they love and not what people think they should do. I'm sorry. And I want #CheerUpCharlie to be associated with acceptance. And it's about time bullying is tackled once and for all. And I'm now very lucky to be in a position to use my voice and speak to people like you that give my generation the hope that things will change and that one voice I have can become a huge one. And the world we live in as a child, I've learned, can be very cruel. And not just children, but adults too. And social media has a lot to answer for. And it can be an amazing tool, but it can also be the one thing that can destroy someone. And I still get messages telling me I'm worthless, but I know you've suffered much worse. How do you handle this negativity? And how, as a future generation, can I help change this?
Oh gosh, yeah, it is. It's the things that people say behind a keyboard. I think the worst bit about it is that they wouldn't say it to your face. They probably don't mean it, but they're just going to say it anyway. They're just going to throw it out there. And it gets, there are good times and bad times. It gets incredibly hard to deal with. But the main thing for me is remembering who's important, remembering whose opinions are important. Some of the sites that my videos have been posted to have just been horrendous. And social media, the platforms themselves don't do enough, and there needs to be an uphold of the rules and what comments are allowed to be said and what happens to the people that say them. They've definitely got a lot to be accountable for. But it's just remembering, my partner that matters, my friends, the people that support me, the people that actually know me, these people online, they might see what I post on Instagram, but they don't know me as a person. They don't know like my feelings and my emotions. And I think a lot of the time people say these things not realizing that there is another person at the other end of this, and they don't deserve to read what you're saying. So yeah, I think ultimately I think places like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube's horrendous for the comments that are just kind of go unreported and things like that. There's definitely, I think it's going in the right direction, and I think the exposure is getting there. But yeah, the platforms definitely need to sort their stuff out.
Yeah, because it shouldn't just be, okay, this account's been banned, but 5 seconds later, they create a new account under a different but similar name, and just go back to doing the same thing.
Yeah, it gets a little frustrating for me, especially being so involved in science. I joke that we can go to the moon, but we can't spot fake accounts on Instagram and remove them. We haven't come up with software that can do that. I don't quite believe that. I just don't think the rules are in place yet. And like you said, it's just so easy for somebody to just make a fake account. I don't know if you follow certain pages in Strong Woman. There's a page called You Look Like a Man, which is probably the most common insult we get. And it just absolutely flips the negativity on its head. And it does a lot of calling out as well. The people that say these things, it actually calls the guys out and kind of holds them accountable. And, as soon as you see that there's actually a person behind these things, people do kind of almost see the errors of their ways kind of thing and realize how much pain this stuff can cause. But it's a tough ride for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So growing up, was bullying something that affected you, and has this had an impact on you as an adult?
Oh, for sure. It was when I moved to primary school was fine. I had lots of friends in primary school. I was pretty clever, pretty sporty. But then I moved to high school and got very involved in science. And I was bullied horrendously. I remember kind of like having my lunch in the toilets. I would hide between classes. So like the majority of students would go, and then I would kind of like run really quickly. So the bullies didn't see me and have a chance to, I would skive PE and hide in the library. And the librarian was aware of the whole situation and would just allow me to sit and read. It was really tough. I was really shy as a kid. I didn't have a lot of confidence in all aspects. I was kind of top of the class in all the science and the maths, but any sort of reading in front of the class was just an absolute no-go for me. It's got tons of Strong Woman has helped incredibly. It really, really has. I do talks to people all over the world now. But there are times that I still feel, for example, when I do expos, they're like 2 to 3 days long. They're really intense. There's like 90,000 people. And I have to kind of take a break after about 2 or 3 hours. And I think that's kind of so many years of being at the back of the crowd, that being right in the center of it can get a little bit overwhelming. Same at the big competitions as well. My partner's amazing. He makes sure that I just get, 5-10 minutes kind of outside by myself, just kind of kept, away just so I can like relax a little bit. And I definitely think that's got a lot to do with the bullying I faced over the years.
Yeah, definitely. So if you could give yourself some advice as a child, knowing what you know now as an adult, what would it be? In all honesty, would you listen to yourself?
Yeah, just don't try so hard to fit in. I just wanted to be accepted. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't understand why I stood out. And just to accept yourself, who you are. I had a lot of issues accepting my body. It was different to most girls. I always had like very broad arms, and accepting my body through Strong Woman has been huge. And it's just that, don't be afraid to shine. You're built different. You're made for different things. The world does try and make you feel like you need to be ashamed of that a little bit, I think. But the best people truly embrace who they are and just absolutely shine with it.
Yeah, definitely. So now's for some funny questions. Nah. So goes like this in our house on a daily basis. Charlie, will you just stop for 5 minutes? That could be talking, dancing, singing, or asking questions that have no answer. What does Luke constantly tell you off for?
Ooh, what's he constantly tell me off for? Not a lot, really. He's such a good egg. Oh yeah, eating his sweets. I eat his sweets a lot, and he hates that.
So now I'm a kid, and a nosy one at that. What is something that no one knows about you until today? The more embarrassing, the better.
Oh God. I put a lot of stuff on social media. I like, what is something about? Oh yeah. This is why I had a fear of talk in public. Because I did a talk in assembly, and my skirt was one of those that was just like kind of loosely knitted, and a bottom of the thread got stuck on the bottom of my chair. So as I walked up and walked round to the front in assembly, my skirt started to unravel, and I noticed it halfway through the talk and ran out of the hall with like half a skirt on.
Oh,
that
no.
was it.
So you've done so many competitions on the world stage now. Have you ever tripped up or done anything embarrassing and gotten caught?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, I've done it all. I think one of the reasons I can help my girls stay so relaxed is that I have literally done everything embarrassing that can be done in competing. I've wet myself. I've been sick halfway through an event. I've had clothes rip off, getting stuck to things. I've just fallen over in the funniest ways, fainted, you name it. Like there's been some really funny memes made out of it.
So if you could train with any person, regardless of era or even animal, what would it be?
Ooh, animal. I'd want to train with a silverback gorilla.
That'd be cool. Found who's stronger, Silverback or Rhianon?
Yeah, definitely. They're heavy. I've got a good advantage here. Person-wise, is it weird that I'd say Jessica Ennis? I think she's such a incredible, well-rounded athlete. She is very open about her trolls and the things that she faced. She went to the Olympics kind of months after giving birth and just got called fat. It was madness. Jessica Ennis, full 8-pack all year round. Phenomenal woman. Yeah, I probably want to train with her.
That'd be cool, yeah. So now's for a round of quick fire questions.
Go for it.
Who would you go and eavesdrop on if you were invisible?
Boris Johnson.
Favorite superhero?
Captain America.
Childhood book?
Pride and Prejudice.
Deadlift or squat?
Deadlifts.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite city?
Manchester.
Harry Potter's house?
Gryffindor.
Text or talk?
Text.
2 things to take on deserted island.
A knife and something to carry water.
Oh, awesome. That's a different answer. I've never had answers like that.
Well,
That's
actually
actually
logical answers.
help you survive
What would people take? Like a microwave?
instead of just an inflatable sofa bed of my kids.
Oh God, no. Oh God, I forgot my dog. Oh jeez.
Oh, no, you can't forget about the dog. Come on, the doggy. Doggy's just gonna be home alone with Luke. He's gonna be like, "Hey, when's mummy back?"
Right.
So thank you so much for doing this, Rhiannon. It was a pleasure and an honor interviewing you.
No problem at all. It's been fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what an amazing interview. If you want to see more interviews like that, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications button. And also go follow my Instagram. At the time when I'm recording this, I'm on 9,700 followers. Oh, come on, 300 more followers, please. Anyone that is watching this and has Instagram and doesn't follow me, what are you doing? Go follow me. So remember, keep being kind to yourself and others and keep letting your light shine. Bye.